Alright, so the last tier list I made kind of sucked. Not a lot of people liked it, and they had a lot of things to say about a lot of my opinions, and that's what they were. It was opinion-based and not data-backed. So today we're going with the opposite approach, where nothing that I'm saying is going to be opinion-based whatsoever, and it will all be coming from some actual real data. So some of these are estimates because we don't have perfect data from any of the WoW sources, and so I did my best and I had to make some estimates here and there, but ultimately this is what I came up with when we're talking about a tier list for which class is best to play in Hardcore Classic. You can see them listed from top to bottom here. I won't belabor the points, and there's a final score where I essentially took the percentage, multiplied it a bunch so you can actually read what it was, and then subtracted out some sort of percentage for however many they had dead in the top 100. So let's go through the data and figure out which class you should play. Hey there, Rotan here. I make to-the-point videos about World of Warcraft, helping people obtain collectibles, cosmetics, and mounts that they want easily and quickly. If that sounds like a fun time, subscribe. So first and foremost, I'm just going to go bottom up. Shaman is here at the bottom, and we can see that I gave it a score of 0. Why? Because none of the top 100 highest level players in Classic WoW, Classic Hardcore that is, as of August 30th are level 60. Literally 0 shamans are level 60 right now. They're also the least played class, which might attribute to that, but because there's none in the top 100, it's the worst. No one has been able to make it to level 60 so far. Second worst is Druid with a score of 4.7. We can see only 6 of the top 100 spots on Classic Hardcore right now are Druids, so they've gotten a few within the top 100. I think actually the number 6 player of all time to hit level 60 was a Druid, but there's barely any Druids over there, and the percentage of Druids that actually hits level 60 is very low right now. After that is Paladin, and I guess what I would call our number 7 spot. Surprisingly, I rated this as probably being the second best class on my personal opinion list, but so far we haven't seen that. Instead, they're actually the third worst class, only 8 of them actually being in the top 100 of leveled players right now, and they're a fairly popular class too, which means that people really aren't making it to max level on Hardcore right now, and that could be just because Paladin leveling is really slow, so we might see this number change, but as of August 30th, about a week after Classic Hardcore has released, this is where they stand. Warlock, which is another class I said might be a strong contender, is experiencing some of the same troubles. Now, I've heard from other people playing classes like Warlock and Hunter that sometimes the pets cause more harm than good. They might go off and aggro another group of mobs, or it's harder to pull them back to you if there's a patrol that's coming and you might accidentally aggro a patrol and die, whereas Hunters could feign death away from that, Warlocks couldn't. They are not so popular either, but this puts them in the number 6 position. Warriors, the class that I rated as being the worst class to level, actually have they're tied for 3rd place in the amount of actual players in the top 100 highest level players on Classic Hardcore right now, and there are multiple level 60 warriors out there. However, they do have one high level warrior that is dead right now in the top 100, probably because they don't have too much to heal or run away with. They're the most popular class that is being played right now, and they actually have a decent amount of people that have hit level 60 and are just still alive in the high 50s. That lands them right dead in the middle. Moving on to Priest. Priest is an interesting case because they aren't played very much. They have a high percentage of their players making it pretty high. None have died, but overall they only have 10 people in the top 100. So really they're kind of this weird spot where no one's dying, they're doing really well in comparison to their entire estimate of their class population, but nothing exciting is really going on there, so solid overall. Rogue lands us in the number 3 spot. You can see here the statistics once again. 15 players in the top 100 highest level Classic Hardcore players right now are Rogues. They do have 1 death. And they're a fairly popular class. I think they're the 4th most popular, maybe 5th most popular class so far, and a good percentage of those are actually making it to the top 100, making it to level 60, and at least the high 50s a week after Hardcore has released. So overall, a pretty good class to choose. I put these guys pretty middle of the pack, but I guess I was wrong there. One that's not a surprise for me is Hunter being in our number 2 spot. They have quite a few people in the top 100. They have no deaths in the top 100. They're a fairly popular class with a high percentage of people that play the class winding up getting to max level or the high 50s at least. So overall, I'm not surprised here. I ranked them as the number 1 class, but I'm excited to see them in the number 2 spot here from the data. Now, the biggest reason why my last tier list kind of sucked and everyone hated it was because I rated Mage really low. In my experience playing a Mage back in 2006, 2007, between Vanilla and Burning Crusade, I had one hell of a time getting a high level Mage. But now that I've learned through my many comments that Mages are actually pretty good, and they happen to also be the first level 60 in Hardcore Classic was a Gnome Mage. They also have the highest number of people in the top 100, the highest number of level 60s. They do have one death though. They're a fairly popular class, and they have the highest percentage of class played to percentage of people made it to max level, or at least in the top 100. So overall, Mage beats out the competition for second place by a good 26%. So they're about 26 to 30% better than the second place, which is crazy. So they're in a very, very strong number one position. So compared to my old tier list, which I've shown you a few times on the screen here, you can see the real data-backed tier list right here. Mage is the top. I would put Mage, Hunter, and Rogue in my easy-ish tier. I would put Priest, Warrior, and Warlock in pretty good. I would put Paladin and Druid in and I'd put Shaman as the bottom tier where I put the Warrior before. This is where the data actually stands today, so none of the other opinion stuff that I said mattered. You can have your own opinions on this, so go ahead and compare my other previous opinion-based video to this data-backed video and see where you fall personally. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.